All right, so I've already taken the still photos of the van already, and what I like to do is just do like a quick little walk around, point out maybe some blemishes if it has any, and maybe just make comments as I kind of move along. But I'm standing about 10 feet away or 8 feet away, and this is the way it presents itself. So it's a good looking van. It's got a nice shine, luster to it. I had to wipe it down because you can see the dust there on the top here. That's the way the whole thing looked, but I had a little thing to wipe it down with, and I did that. But while we're up here, we can see where, there is some pitting on the paint there. One of the gentlemen that works here, he came out here already. He said they would have fixed it if this van would fit in the spray booth. And then here, that's his dust right there on the windshield. But let's take a look at the glass. I don't see any obvious chips or scratches here while I'm here. And also, I take a view of the dash, and I'm checking for any cracks or blemishes. But it looks pretty free and clear. I'll go ahead and get some paint meter readings. And the reason I do this here is I'm checking for hidden damage or repaint, rework, whatever the wording happens to be. So this is 3.0. So this measures in the thousandths of an inch. So this is 3.0 thousandths of an inch. Okay. So let's keep on moving on here. 4.5. When we get like a huge reading, like like 12 or 16, then that's an indication of some respray there. If we get a 19.7 reading, then that's an indication of body filler, where maybe there was some impact damage and they had to use body filler to repair it. Looking at the headlight lenses, they look like they're in pretty good shape. I don't see any cloudiness or any cracks. The grille is all intact, and I always like to just run my hand through them, make sure nothing's loose or falling apart. Okay, moving on here. Okay, 3.5. Those are great readings. Looking at the windshield here on the left side here, you can see where they're on the very top. You can see where the clear coat is peeling. I also got a still photo of the VIN, which I'll be running as well, and just checking for several things. And here's a view of the dash, and I should have removed those papers first, but okay. Here, this some chipping here. It's not on the glass. It's on the actual. This is a panel, so it had been on the glass, that'd be a serious concern. All right. Looking at the left front wheel, tires look relatively new here. Okay, it's a 265/60 R18s. The rims, the chrome looks like it's in good shape. I don't see any peeling. I also like to take a look at the wheel well here, mainly because as you drive the vehicle, the tires can kick up debris and sometimes damage the inner fender well. But I'll have to review that video myself. And I like to try to get in there when I can to see if I can get a shot of the brake pads. That way I can give you an idea of how much life is still left on there. And also do a side view of the panels. What I'm doing here is I'm checking for any waviness, dings, or dents. And this is the best way to really detect the small ones. The large ones, well, you can see those straight on. Right? Here, looking at the outside mirror, just some clear coat blemishes here. And from what I remember on our conversation, it's not so much about the cosmetics, but it being mechanically sound. 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 4. I like to open the doors here. They should be nice and solid. Door panels look good. Alignment, all right. Let's try this real quick. Okay, well, I'll have to unlock that and check it later. I have to check the body trim too. Seems like it's nice and intact. Good. Let's do the rear fender well area. I'm not used to having so much room to run my phone through the wheel well area. Okay, let's see here. Rims look pretty good, and let's see if we get a shot of those brake pads. Okay, try a couple of different approaches here. The lens is really, there's a glare on it right now, so I can't really see it myself. And then let's do another side panel view here. All right, and let's do some quarter panel readings. Okay, 3.5. And I mentioned earlier about checking for Bondo, what have you. When I do these readings too, because that'll be an indication if it had been in an accident. Had it been in an accident, right away we'd see some different readings. Okay, here at the back, looks pretty good here. Bumper looks pretty good. 3.5, 3.5, 3, and 3.5. So we're getting some nice solid readings. Just some a little scratch here between the two doors there. All right, nice tinted windows. And let's do the side view here. All right. Glass looks like it's in great shape. Rear wheel well. Let's do that check again. And another look at the brake pad if I can get it. Again, if I can see it, I'll estimate the thickness of it and how much life is still left on it. Here, looking at the right rear quarter panel area, just the trim panel here is slightly kicked out. Maybe if you decide to move forward with the purchase of the vehicle, sometimes they're pretty good about maybe fixing some small things, but it never hurts to ask. Looking at the doors, oh, I got the reading of the belt there. Okay, 3.5. So the readings are fantastic. 4, 3.30, 4, 4.5, and 3.5. So yeah, those were great readings. Give me another look here before I move on. Walk around here. All right, moving on. So I'm going to be starting up the vehicle here for the second time, but I also want to do a video here to show you that the vehicle has a kill switch that I didn't know about initially. So I'm glad I had this problem, so that way I can demonstrate how it works. So there's a little toggle switch down here below the dash. Let me see if I get a better picture of it here. It's this one right here, right? So if I do it that way towards the engine, if I try to start it, nothing happens, right? Now, let me move it again, and it should start right up now. Yep, there we go. So if that ever happens to you, keep in mind that there's that toggle switch, and the toggle switch should be switched towards you to engage it. In other words, to where it doesn't start, you push it towards the engine. Okay, let's take a quick look at the gauges while we're here. Oil pressure is around 40, which looks pretty good. Coolant temperature, we'll keep an eye on that, just above the 100 mark. 87,581 is the odometer reading. Half a tank of fuel, and showing that the battery is charging. Right, here's just another quick view of the dash, just because I forget later on. One of the things I like to check once I do start the car or the van, is to look at the back exhaust here. And what I'm checking for, or what I'm looking at, is any type of smoke, right? We don't want to see black smoke, we don't want to see gray smoke, we don't want to see blue smoke or white smoke. All that means something. We don't see no smoke, so that's good. So there's nothing to diagnose, right? We'll go into the engine bay area. It was pretty clean, right? I've already I checked the coolant level, that looks good. I didn't see any signs of cross-contamination. I'll be testing the battery here pretty soon. Looks like it's fairly new, 1117. I just think that the battery's kind of small for the van, and it has all these options. So at some point, you may want to look into getting something bigger if you run into any issues. I've already checked the transmission fluid. Engine oil looked pretty good as well. So the transmission fluid was nice and pink. It still had like a sweet smell to it, so that's good. Engine oil was a nice tan color, so it was recently changed. The only thing is that it looks like it was overfilled, and in my book that should be corrected, because overfilling is not good either, because oil can overflow into the upper engine where it's not supposed to, and then you can get some smoke. But I'm not seeing that here today, but you do know about it at least. I've got a nice close-up picture of the engine belt down there. Right? It looks like it's fairly new as well. I checked for any type of dry cracking, and I didn't see it. Power steering fluid was checked, looks good, and the brake fluid looks to be at the right level, but this should be a tan color as well. As a preventative maintenance measure, it's always nice to flush out that fluid every 2 or 4 years, or whatever be the case. Again, it's for preventative measures, just like servicing your transmission at some point. So when you talk to your service facility, you can ask them about that as well, unless you already know. I also look around the engine bay. What I'm checking for are any damages, like rodent damage, chewed wiring or hoses. My view's pretty limited here as far as how I can check it all, but given the space that I have, I can only check what I see. The light's not coming on here. Really no big deal there. and that's the engine bay. Oh, also, I don't hear any abnormal engine noises either from the top end or the bottom end. Like no deep metallic sounds, so that's always good. I'm about to go on a road test, but just quickly on the interior. I checked everything. Power windows work, the outside mirror adjustment, the horn, windshield wipers, lights. We did a light check already. Instrument cluster, the parking brake. I made sure that engaged and the vehicle didn't move when I tried to move forward with the parking brake engaged. Radio, that works. I tried pairing my phone, but for whatever reason it didn't work for me, but I think it's an issue on my phone. And as far as the AC, I verified that is blowing cold, right? But when it came to, and the heater works too, but when it came to adjusting it to the defroster, the air just continues to blow on the front facing vents, and see nothing coming from the dash. You can see those those papers kind of fluffing around if it was working. Let's see what else. Everything else seemed to work. There's a bunch of remote controls here, as you can see. Sorry about that. This one here looks like a refrigerator, but I don't know how it works. I look for switches to see if in fact it is electronic. But yeah, I couldn't verify that. All the seats work, the lights are working, except these lights here. All those ones back there, those didn't illuminate. I checked the power seats adjustments in the very back, and I was able to turn on the TV too. So luckily I think there was a movie in the player. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just continue on. Okay, so I've been driving for a couple of miles already, and I've already done the manual shifting as far as going from low to the upper gears, and it shifted without issue. Just in regular drive mode, again, shifting was smooth. Didn't feel any slipping of the internal transmission operation, and no hesitation. When I can take my hands off the steering wheel, and it does drive relatively straight, and then when I step on the brakes, it does stop straight, and I made sure there's no cars behind me. So that's good as far as mechanically. What else? Kind of lost my way already. Let's see here. Sorry about that. Oh, I don't know why I'm pausing so much. All right, so I'm gonna go through the gears real quick. So shifting is good. You can hear that. I know you know the cruise control operation is going to be important to you, so I made sure that works as well. I mean, I check everything, but I made sure I double checked to make sure that the cruise control works. I verified that all the lights engage as well, and what else? I think that's about it. I'm going to drive a couple more miles, but I'm going to cut this long-winded video that I'm taking already short now, and head back to the dealer.